Wonderful. Welcome everyone to the final information session for the Transform East Africa Fund. We are very happy to have each and every one of you here. Kindly know that if you're not speaking, please remain on mute. And also if you can switch off your videos, because we have different people logging in from different countries. And also we just want to be sensitive in terms of bandwidth for them, because we want everyone to be able to participate in the session. So welcome so much. As I mentioned to you, my name is Mercy Kimalat. I'll be your moderator for the session today. I'm the CEO for ASEC, which stands for the Association of Startup and SME Enablers of Kenya. We're a network organization bringing together different entrepreneur support organizations across the country. That includes incubators, accelerators, different maker spaces, university-based incubation centers, and also corporate innovation centers that come under our umbrella body. And what we do is mainly on policy and advocacy, at the same time also capacity building our enablers to ensure that they actually provide the key services to entrepreneurs to thrive and grow. So bringing to you this session, we are actually two other organizations that have partnered together to work and actually ensure this opportunity has been rolled out to different partners. One, we have the Association of Countrywide Innovation Hubs, and also we have E4Impact Enterprise Centers. So I'll invite Magdalene or someone from the Countrywide Hubs to also give an introduction and then hand over to David. So as you're waiting for someone to come from Countrywide, David, can I hand it over to you?
Sure. So thanks, Mercy, and welcome everyone and good morning. My name is David. I'm the director of the E4Impact Entrepreneurship Centers. E4Impact stands for Entrepreneurship for Impact. We are present in about 21 African countries, and we have 8 entrepreneurial centers. So in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Tunisia, in Kenya, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Uganda, and Zimbabwe. And we support impact entrepreneurs in the centers where we operate. We run incubation and acceleration programs, as well as short programs supporting entrepreneurs, as well as linking them to financial opportunities. So such an opportunity is really way up our alley to link enterprises to the Transform Fund, which I think will be presented to you today, and how to go about it. And in this call, I have our country managers from Rwanda. There is Hausa, and we have Engideshet Melaku from Ethiopia. So if you are logging in from Rwanda and Ethiopia, those are our colleagues who you can reach out to if you have any specific challenge in the application, you need support. They'll be giving you also information on the next steps and stuff like that. So very, very happy to be here and very happy to engage and support everyone who is present to make a very good application for this Transform Fund. Over to you, Mercy. And
thank you so much.
Right, mentioning Mercy and the link with ASEC. I'm also the chairperson of ASEC, so just to mention that to you. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Bwana Chair, and also for leading E4Impact. Thank you for that introduction. So I'd like to hand over to Countrywide Hubs. Ali, can I invite you to give a small introduction?
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Mercy. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Ali Salim. I'm the CEO for Countrywide Innovation Hubs, the Association of Countrywide Innovation Hubs. We are an association that brings together enablers, system enablers from different parts of the country, Kenya. And we also enable startups across the country in different ways, especially with opportunities like this. We are there for an association that works with hubs, with accelerators, and with funders alike. And in a nutshell, that's basically us. Thank you, Marcy.
Thank you so much, Ali, for that, and glad to be partnering with you on this one. I'd like now to move into the session for talking about the Innovation Fund, the Transform East Africa Fund. And I don't know if Ali would be able to do it, or should I proceed?
Just go ahead, Marcy.
Okay. All right. So let me just share my screen. And kindly use the chat to engage with different people. We have 3 countries on the call, perhaps even more. So please do use the chat function for introducing your business, what you're doing, and also leaving your contact details. You just never know, your next partner or business opportunity could be in the chat. So kindly continue using the chat box. Right, so welcome to the Transform East Africa Fund information session. A bit about the fund. So the fund was actually created to help high impact startups, social enterprises, or businesses that are making huge impact in low income people's lives to actually participate in the fund and also get a bit of funding to help scale up their existing innovation or solution. The target countries for the fund, where we're trying to source for different innovative ideas from, there are 3. So one of them is Ethiopia, Rwanda, and Kenya. And I'm really happy to see that the East Africa community has pulled in together to really be part of this, be part of this fund, and also be able to have a way of cross-border learning, as well as also sharing of opportunities. So in terms of the priority areas of the fund, 1, we're looking into environment. So if you have any solutions that are tackling or trying to safeguard the environment, it also regards to climate change, kindly do apply under that category. The second one is on health and well-being. So looking in matters of nutrition, whether it's on issues of mental health, and different other related aspects, you can also apply under that category. The third one is looking at inclusive economies. So if you look at how different people have been marginalized in the society, whether it's people with disabilities or people living in the rural areas, or if you have people in low income, who are actually low income earners, being able to access more economic and social benefits, then your innovation can actually apply under that category. The other one is also looking at a waste-free world. And here we're looking at innovations that are trying to address, reduce, collect, and process of plastic waste. And for there, the innovation really has to show some sort of element of using some technology, or is it a behavioral idea, or whatever type of innovative solution you've come up with to really help address plastic pollution. And then the other category is water, sanitation, and hygiene. So again, looking at the matters of the wash sector and really how you're helping low-income communities access clean, affordable drinking water, whether it's a cleaner environment, then you can also apply under that. And that also links to providing innovative solutions that also helps low-income communities access affordable hygienic products. For example, whether it's touching on like sanitary pads or whatever it is that really relates to hygiene for low-income communities. The other one is looking at raising living standards. So for here, an example was helping small shopkeepers and entrepreneurs grow their business. As you know, also like looking at the informal sector, they really do not have a lot of support in terms of helping to digitize their businesses or looking at how they can help scale and grow their revenues. So you as an innovator, ideally, if you have a solution that is tied towards raising the living standards of like low-income communities, or even helping the informal community really raise their living standards, you can apply under that category. The other one is looking at protect and regenerate nature. So there we are helping, where if you're an innovator, you're helping smallholder farmers protect and regenerate natural environments. So we've seen a lot of ideas around, if you have an idea around agroforestry, or how you're actually helping to reduce waste within when you're doing farming, for example, just to ensure that also we are as much as we're taking resources from the earth, we're also replenishing the resources as well back to the earth, where we can continuously receive materials for construction or whatever feeds into our businesses. The other category is looking at digital health. So this looks at delivering inclusive healthcare that actually reaches low-income people. And we've seen it's an innovation around technology or as a typical service that also ensures inclusivity for people to be able to access health, because health is actually one of the Maslow's needs for people. So that would actually come under that category. The other one is also looking at future of work, which means equipping young people with skills and opportunities in the informal economy. And that means now that we're in the knowledge economy, therefore, you as an innovator, how are you actually helping to prepare young people to tap into different opportunities in the future? So those are the different categories that we have available for this fund. So in terms of further guidance, one is that you really, as an innovator, have to show potential to impact low-income earners. And sorry, if you're speaking, yeah, you have to show potential to impact low-income earners. Kindly, if you're not speaking, let's remain on mute. Thank you so much. And then the second one is specifically target the Unilever areas of expertise, especially the Unilever East Africa. Something that I forgot to mention was that if you look at the Transform East Africa Fund, it has been brought together by 3 partners, which is, which is Unilever, we have EY, we also have the UK Aid, and also we have the the UK International Development Office that has actually brought these funds together. So it really has to touch into one of the key areas of Unilever. The second. Kindly, if you're not speaking, let's remain on mute. Thank you. The third thing is that using innovation to tackle social and environmental challenges, that's looking at new technologies, new approach or a business model, or even coming up with a new innovative solution that can actually serve the forgotten market, or serving the bottom of the pyramid or informal economies. The other one is that also you have to show clear potential to reach scale. Again, if you're looking at the target of impacting low-income earners, then the idea is to really see how your innovation or solution can really help scale that need to as many people as possible. So some of the projects that need to address some of the criteria below. One is that the projects need to specifically reach to low-income consumers. The second one is that projects being applied in new geographies, which means that at least your project not only works in one county, because we're also looking at the Kenyan scope of geography, but also looking at the larger East African or even Pan-African scope. At least your project should be able to be applied in different geographies. The other one is that the project needs to also be a first mover advantage, meaning it's actually quite unique. Sorry, there's a mistypo here, but the project needs to have a first mover advantage in terms of it's unique and also has been able to receive traction that can actually be able to be scaled further. And then the projects with a payback period longer than normal commercial business cases, meaning that even once you receive the funding, you're actually able to accelerate your innovation at a quick pace than the normal typical SME kind of business operations. Looking at the selection process in terms of the timeline, so the applications are closing today at midnight, 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. EAT, so that's East African time. And then from there, we're actually going to take between the 1st and 6th of August to do the shortlisting of top 50 innovative ideas. And then from there, we'll do another further screening to select the top 25, and that's announced by the 9th of August. And then what we're going to do is from there, we're going to submit the pool of applicants back to the judging criteria that, or the judging consortium of Unilever, EY, and also the UK Tech Hub to also review the applications and also provide feedback. And then from there, we're going to receive the final list of the 5 who will now proceed for further judging and selection. And once they're through, they are able to receive the fund to help them access and scale their solution. So what's in it for you as an innovator? You actually, there's a bucket of 500,000 British sterling pounds that entrepreneurs are able to tap into. And because it's a collective sum of funding, then depends on how strong your solution is, there's potential for you to receive much more from the same bucket. So for example, it's ranging from 100,000 up to 500,000, depending on your innovative solution that you have submitted. Looking at the final, once the final selection is completed and due diligence will be handled by Transform core team at Unilever. And thereafter, once that has been agreed, agreements will be done and then disbursements will follow for that. In terms of communication, so successful applicants at each stage will be contacted and be made aware of the next step. So even if you apply and do not make it through, we will still contact you just so that you are able to be aware of the stage of your application. And then also there is a phone number and an email, which was also on the poster that you can actually reach out to in case you have any questions so far. And just to alert all the entrepreneurs is that there is no application fee tied to this, and no partner or individual should actually charge you for applying for this opportunity. It's a free opportunity that is accessible for all. In terms of the judging criteria, so if you look at my right-hand screen, we have 4 key criteria that we're looking into. One is the use case, feasibility, and impact. Have you clearly defined your persona, and actually have you done a feasibility assessment just to ensure that your solution can actually achieve the right impact as well, and that will be judged at 30%. The second one is looking at the implementable and scalability, meaning how feasible is a solution to be implemented, and also is there potential for scaling it, not only across the different borders, but also looking at even the service provision, for example, and that will be judged at 30%. The second one is looking at the entrepreneurial and innovativeness. Again, we are trying to look for those unique innovation solutions that can address different challenges under the different sectors that we've mentioned, and that will also be judged at 20%. The final one is looking at the technical competence. This is now more about looking at also your team, who makes up your team, what are the qualifications, do you have that in-house capacity, or even do you have a partner who can deliver that technical competence on behalf of the team. So that one is something we're going to judge on at 20%. The other things I've already mentioned, because it's targeted towards 3 countries, and then also it's a bucket of funding between 100,000 to 500,000 GDP. So at this point, I'd like to invite Savio, who can now walk us through the application platform so that you can also be able to see how to apply. And the link as well will be shared on the chat. And also you're able to see how to fill in the different forms. And also in case you have a question on the application form, you can also please put it on the chat. We'll handle that during the question and answer session. So Savio, I'd like to hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Mercy. And I like your presentation. For me, it's just a simple job, just to basically show you how you can apply. It's straightforward, but again, it's always good to go through it again. So we all know that, and the link will also be shared on the chat, how you are able to access the platform. So how to access it is through the URL up here, transformfund.countrywidehubs.org/apply. So I believe the team here would also share the same on the chat. The system has a a lot of features. As you can see on the left, it's whereby we have everything to do, every information that you might need in regards to the program, the judging criteria, about the challenge, the timetable and everything. So, and for us as the team running here, we always recommend that even before you apply, it's very good, instead of you rushing to apply here, it's very good for you to go through all these fields so that you're able to know what people are looking at. And at least it also helps you in aligning your application and your responses in regards to what the fund requires. So this is what we have here. On the right, what you can see here, there is where you're able to select the language. So like, for example, if you are from Ethiopia and there are something that you do not understand in terms of how it was phrased in English, you can just click here and translate it into any of the language that you might understand. So like, for example, you might choose to change it into Amharic. You can just convert that, and everything is now in Amharic. So this is a feature that maybe if you might need to use it, you're able to use it. The other thing is, this is a poster, which is still okay. But what we have here, and what is very much important, is what we are having on the right. So this is basically all the fields that are required for you to fill. And the only thing that you also need to look at is all the fields that have an asterisk, because it means that they are compulsory. So on the left, if you come and click, let's say, the criteria, you'll be able to see. So if you, maybe we can mute Harrison Otieno, please mute. So if you click criteria, for example, you're able to see the whole criteria and everything that is required for you to fill, even before you fill, and you're able to see what are the guidelines they are looking at, and everything to do with the judge with the criteria. You can see there's a criteria here, but down here there is also a judging criteria. So the first criteria is basically just to show you and to advise you on things that you might need to, the bare minimum about the program. But now when you come to the judging criteria, it's basically now what tells you where the marks are so that it's very easy, it's so that you're able to focus on these things when you're answering the questions. So you're able to see, like, use case feasibility and impact, it has 30% of the total marks, implementability and scalability, entrepreneur and innovativeness. So this is just to make sure that for you, even before you fill, you're able to capture all these things as you fill in. Yeah. So they are the rewards, the terms and condition about the challenge, the timetable, and such. So, and once you have reviewed everything to do with that, you're able to come here and fill. There is your name, email address. So we all recognize that there are some of the teams that have more than one innovator or entrepreneur or member. So we advise you that the team leader is the one who's supposed to fill in here. So there is the name, the email address, the primary phone number, gender. We have, you're able to select your country here. We are sorry for everybody who joined in and their country is not here. Maybe next time we will have a chance. If you have a disability, it's very good. I saw on the chat, there are people who are saying they are deaf and such. So make sure when you come here, you're able to select that you have a disability. And apart from that, indicate the kind of disability that you have. The innovation name, it's here. We have all the categories that are that we are looking at. So you're able to select one from all these categories, depending on the kind of innovation you're running. Now the entry type, we know that there are many types of people who are submitting to this challenge. We have universities who are people submitting as universities, people submitting as organizations, limited companies are many. If you're an individual, a group, or an innovation hub. So it's very good for you to select the mode of application and the entry type that you are doing. And if you are a group down here, if you come down here, there is a place whereby you are able to key in or basically record your team members, which is here. And this is very important because often we get people just writing names like Savio and Bogo only. So what we recommend is for you, when you are adding the team, you're able to say it's Savio and Bogo, the specialty, let's say software engineer. And as per now in this project, he or she is a project manager, he's a UI UX designer, he's the accountant. So it's very good for you. Once you are recording the team composition, you also indicate the position that they are holding in your organization. So we're also looking at how long, just to be able to evaluate and know the state, the level that your innovation is in. So whether it's a new innovation, you're able to tell us in terms of years and where it is. Thomas, please mute. So there is also the founder's age. So if you are more than one person, you're able to tell us the average age of your team, the founding team, just to be able to know like where you are in terms of age and many other different things that the team here are looking at. So this is very important, whereby we ask you to describe your innovation, or basically which problem or opportunities your project addressing. This is a very important question because it's just make sure that when you're filling this kind of question, it is also aligning in regards to what the Transform Fund is looking at. So I know most of us already have well-prepared pitch decks that maybe they have been using, but instead of you just replicating it, you're able to look at what the Transform Fund is looking at and what your innovation is addressing, and then just try and make sure that it is aligning in regards to this, so that even when the judges are judging, they already have a direct connection in regards to your innovation and the fund. There's also how unique your innovation is. Just make sure, don't write too much. Don't write too much in regards to these questions. So here we have given you a maximum of 200 words. The same thing as the revenue stream. Make sure you indicate this if you have any revenue streams. If you don't have, just try and make sure that there are projections on what you are looking at in a certain timeline. The team composition, as I talked about, it's very important. If you have any market traction, just do it here. If you don't have, as per now, try and show us the projection in regards to your market traction, or how you think that your innovation is going to create traction once it's rolled out. There are some other social media presence. If you have them, you can see they do not have an asterisk, so which means that they are not compulsory. But if your innovation has this kind of profiles, it's very good for you to add them, and so that even when the judges are judging, they already have more than one place they can refer. You also note that all these questions do not have an asterisk, yeah, but they are very important. And if you look at the judging criteria, you'll be able to see that it is basically touching all these questions. So it's upon you to do that. And then down here, you'll be able to attach a pitch deck. We always advise you to attach a PDF document. We do not recommend you to attach a Word document, although it's possible. A PowerPoint, it's possible. You can attach any kind of pitch deck that you think is going to help you. And you can see it's a compulsory field, so it's a must for you to attach this pitch deck. Sometimes you get some judges, they know that almost everything that you have talked here are in the pitch deck, and they are looking at there, they might decide to go directly and check the pitch deck. And then down, once you click submission, you can only submit once, and you can only submit once. So then that's okay. There is, so I can see somebody asking, does the innovation must be a technology based? No, innovation is not IT. It's innovation is not IT. So you can have an innovation which is not, it's not a must for it to be an IT based or a technology based product. Don't know whether there is any other. So for you people, you can see down here on the left, you just have 13 hours to fill up by 11:59 tonight. You'll not be, the submissions will be closed. So you'll not be able to submit any other innovation or will not be able to do any other action in regards to this fund here. There are other different communication channels that you're going to get, whether you're shortlisted, whether you're not shortlisted, you still get communication in regards to the same. And I know the team here also, even if you're not shortlisted, is not the final thing. There are other goodies in regards to people who are shortlisted. So it's a win-win for all of us. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you. Mercy.
Thank you, Samuel, for that. I think it's, yes, definitely it's easy to apply and you have 13 hours. So just in case you have not submitted your application form, you still have time, but we highly recommend if you can do it before, because as also you've seen, there's a bit of power blackouts in different parts of the country. So please do not allow time to pass you by. Submit it as soon as possible and once you're ready. So I think we can go to the question. Yes, Samuel.
Yeah, they just saw somebody asking, so we have to submit the slide or presentation pitch deck. Yeah, it's a must for you to submit a pitch deck. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe Savio, touching on the pitch deck, because I know that someone here was asking what should be in the pitch deck. Can you also touch on that one?
Yes. So for us, what we recommend is the same questions or the same things that the fund was asking on the what is it called, on the application form. Try and make sure that you're able to touch through all those things. For example, we need to know about your innovation. So we need to know about your innovation, one. Then two, we need to know your team composition. We need to know how your innovation is different. What is your innovation first? And then how different it is from other different kind of innovations, or rather your edge. We need to know whether you have a market traction. We need to know about your team members and the specialty that they are doing. We need to know your go-to-market strategy if you have it. Yeah, and if you have traction, we need to know the traction that you're looking at.
Great. And then there's a question here for what is the minimum amount for funding one can apply for? So maybe I can respond on that one. There is no minimum. It depends on the solution you have presented or applied for. Then now the judges will see how much funding you would need. But I think also tying to what Savio said, maybe perhaps you can add into your pitch deck, how much do you think actually you need for the solution to be scaled? So you can also add that in the pitch deck, but then also because it's one bucket of £500,000 that will be distributed amongst the 5 startups. So kindly do make a very strong application so that it can be considered.
And
the other question,
add on that
yes,
point,
David.
Yeah, it's just being wise and prudent, right? So you've been told what is in the pot and how many, let's say, innovations will be funded, right? So someone has to be prudent and not apply for the whole 500,000, right? So that's the thing. As in, it just takes a bit of wisdom to know what is the maximum you can go for, and you don't have also to go for the maximum. But that just having that prudence of what is how much is in the fund and how many innovation will be funded would give you an idea of the maximum you can actually apply.
Great, thank you so much, David. Sorry, there's so many questions that are coming in. There was one here on the network. There's someone here who has a network. I'm trying to find that question. How can I register in representation of forum or an umbrella gathering many members, especially for age and gender for the forum? So I can attempt to respond because you're applying. So even if you look at the application form that Savio has shared, there is a place where you have to enter the name of the lead applicant. So ideally, we can use your details to actually fill in the biodata of the applicant. So we'll actually use your information because you're the lead applicant representing all these other members who ideally are also part of the innovative solution you're submitting. Because when the funding does come, for example, if let's say Jean, your solution has been selected as one of the finalists and there's due diligence done, the funding will go to that organization that you have submitted under the application form. So even when you're doing due diligence, it will still be the organization that you have submitted for. So for that application form, use your biodata, which is your name, email, gender, etc. And also submit the name of the organization that you're representing, even if you're representing other members. Yes, I hope that's clear. But I think also my colleagues can also add on to that. There's a question here on, I had made a submission before watching the info sessions. What do I do if I'd like to make an adjustment on the pitch deck to include some vital information? Ali or Savio, David, want to touch on that one?
Mercy, I think that this had already, anyway, it had been addressed in the last week info session. But what we said is that you can still resubmit if you want to add more information to your new application and just send an email to the email that is provided, I think to Ali or indicating that this is your second application and that is what should be judged and not the previous one that you'd submitted previously, because maybe the info session has provided you with more in-depth information on how best actually to put together a better application. So you can do it. You will not be penalized for it.
So if they can send as a separate pitch deck on the email provided.
Yeah, they submit it. It's still on the portal, so that it's received formally within the portal, and they can follow it with an email saying, "I've submitted an application. This is the one that you should judge, or you should consider my second application." Right? That's an email, as in that should follow up the resubmission.
Great. And if you want to send the email, we put on the chat, so it's hello@countrywides.org. But I'd also put on the chat initially with the application link. So even if you go to the application portal, you'll still see the email there, and you can still send the feedback or questions to that email for further support. The other question was, let's see. So maybe Ali, you'll tackle this one. Maybe there are others as well who have submitted an application and haven't received an acknowledgement email. Maybe you can just speak briefly on that one.
And as maybe Ali's speaking to it, Savio, since Savio, you're here, when someone submits, do they get a confirmation, or it's email, or is it enough? Because I saw Ali saying that we've actually, for that person who was asking, Ali indicated that they're already received.
I don't know if Savio is still around. But either way, because the applications are closing in this evening or early morning, then if you do not hear a feedback by next week, kindly write us an email and then we'll definitely respond back to you. But ideally, once you've submitted the application, it should already be captured in the system. But this again, just to maybe further console you in case, because we cannot also access the application forms. We're waiting until the end of the deadline just to ensure transparency and equality for all applicants. So in case you do not hear back from us from next week on Friday, then kindly also just send us an email. We'll see how to manage that. Maybe David, I can throw this question to you. What is an example of a business model?
I guess anyway, the definition of a business model is what you put together to show how you're creating value, how you're capturing the value, and how you're delivering the value that you're presenting it or you're implementing as an enterprise. So ideally, as in in simple terms, sometimes it goes to how are you actually making money. It actually answers sometimes that simple question. So how do you monetize? How do you make money? So if someone was to ask you, what's my business model? So when Savio was speaking before, what do you have in the pitch, right? So you have the pitch, what's the problem you're solving? What is the innovation to solve that problem? Who are you? Where are you doing it at? Who are your clients? How do you reach them? So when you get to the slide where how do you regenerate money? Sometimes that could be defined as the model, right? So it's really how you monetize the innovation or the enterprise that you're actually implementing. So I hope it's clear, but we will have, and for the ones who will get shortlisted, let's say the top 50, there are capacity building sessions to still help refine and engage further, right? So there are really opportunities. So in the meantime, since you need to make a submission by tonight, you can even go to, I don't know, YouTube or Google and check out what is a business model, what should a pitch have, and stuff like that for purposes of today. But I think this forum as well was actually to engage as many innovators, entrepreneurs, organizations that are creating impact in the society, so that there could be more building support that could come, whether you make it to this round or you don't. I think now you're within a very good network where opportunities could arise for you to increase your capacity and skills, right? In running what you're running.
Thank you, David, for that one. There's a question here from Lorna. Yes, we're seeking the top 5. So the top 5 will be the ones who receive the funding, and it's going to be arranged between 100,000 to 500,000 British pounds. For the stage of the innovation, we're looking for something that's already existing, because the fund is coming to accelerate or scale up the existing solution. So we're not looking for ideation at this stage, but perhaps in the future, it's something that we can also look into. I think I've captured most of the questions. So the aspect of traction is not clear. What if a project touches on the thematic areas, that is integrated project that has water, agriculture, and energy and regeneration? David, you want to touch on that one? I do want to be the one.
I think that they are the focus areas of the Transform Fund as a priority, right? So environment and there the subcomponents are waste-free world, regenerative agriculture and stuff. So if your project is cross-cutting, you mention what is the main theme, right, that you're addressing, and then you can go ahead and show the other cross-cutting themes. Maybe it could actually enrich your presentation, because someone judging your application can see that you're actually dealing with a key component, but you also have cross-cutting impact areas that cross-cut on the other. So it's okay to do it, but show which is the main one that you're tackling, whether it is environment, health and well-being, or inclusive economy, and then you can go ahead and show anything that is cross-cutting that you're including.
Great. And actually, sometimes you find solutions do cross-cut the different sectors, still submit it, but like what David is saying, where would that solution strongly fit into? Because again, the problem or the solution you're providing also has to be specific. kindly do not give us 10 solutions only to one problem. That means then we're not clear on if we're to actually give you the funding, what will the funding do and how will that solution be scaled? So it's also important for you to remain focused on what kind of challenge you're addressing and how your solution is addressing that, and then also aligning on how it's going to be scalable once you receive the funding. And I think I can tie that with a question here from Steve, who was asking, so the pitch budget should be a maximum of £100,000. We're not telling you to say how much money you need. We're just telling you the cap is 500,000 British pounds. Therefore, look at the solution, like what David had mentioned. You have the wisdom, you understand what resources your solution needs. Therefore, make an application and even say how much you would need. Some might need 50,000 pounds, others might need 200, others 100. It depends on your solution. So it's up to you to decide on how much funding you need, based on how you want to scale it, whether also based on your previous experience, because again, we're looking for solutions that are already existing. So you can use your previous experience to see how much funding or resources do you need to help you scale that solution across. I hope that's clear. So the maximum is 500,000. So you cannot submit and request for, let's say, 600,000 pounds or 700. The maximum is 500,000 pounds. So you actually are the one to actually identify and know how much you need for your solution. Yeah.
And remember, it's 500K and 5 enterprises will get funded, let's say at a minimum, in a certain sense with the amount. So don't go for the whole 500, as in it's just prudence really and wisdom. Is very important. And also, of course, the budget that will really help you scale in a very realistic way that Marcy has been underlining.
Thank you, David. Yeah, so when to expect the application outcome, as Ali has mentioned, 14 days after the close of submissions, you'll all receive an email on the status of your application, whether you've applied and actually won or not. Right. So I don't know if there's anyone who has any other burning question that maybe I've left out. So you only have, so Dio, the 500,000 is for the entire fund, not for one entrepreneur. So kindly use prudence to know how much money you need to apply for using your existing solution.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Ali.
Basically, with the previous question of when you get an answer about your application, within 14 days, you'll know whether you have actually been chosen for the top 25, who will then be submitted to the Transform Fund committee that will then sit and pick the top 5 who will be funded. So the top 5 who will be funded, the communication for that will be handled by the Transform Fund. But immediately we have any information on that, we will give it to those 25 that had been shortlisted to be judged by the Transform Fund committee.
Great, thank you so much, Ali. So given that now we only have 5 minutes to go, maybe we can do next steps. Because I think most of the questions have been answered. And thank you so much, Ali, also for responding on the chat as well. So as the next steps, so the application link, we have actually shared it on the chat. It's transformfund.countrywidehubs.org/apply. The email to use is hello@countrywide.org, and then the phone number is also listed there. I don't want to read it out loud just for data privacy, but yes. So in case you have any question, please use these official emails to seek out information. I know that Edith also will be sending the recording. So in case you also have a query, you can also send to us, but we'll definitely forward it back to Ali and his team to now manage the responses for that. Yes, and please know that the deadline will not be extended or moved because of strict timelines. So kindly, if you do not apply this round, then you'll have to think about applying the next one. But thank you so much, everyone. I don't know if there's any A or B. And I'll start with Ali.
Yes. Basically, there's not much A or B from me. But immediately after the close of applications tonight, we will start looking through the applications on Monday morning and start sifting through them. And 14 days after that, we should have picked the top 25 at least. As David said, the top 25 will then have some workshop sessions whereby they they will have some time to learn and understand about business models, about pitching, pitch decks, about financial literacy on that front, and things like that, which are all in all mainly to help them strengthen their applications, and from there now they will then be pushed through. Sorry, not the top 25, but the top 50, who will probably then be given a chance to look at us, giving us a better feel of their applications, in order for us to then choose the top 25 that will go to the Transform Fund. But you will be notified on anything and everything throughout the whole process. So do keep looking at your emails to get any more information after the close of the what do you call it, after the close of the application session.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ali. David?
I actually want to wish anyone who is applying all the very best. I think we've answered a lot of the questions that you had. We've really ensured that you have all the info that helps you put together a better presentation. There is an email where if you still have any issue, you can still shoot before you submit, and maybe someone can respond to you just to clarify anything else. As Mercy said, the info session will be shared with you. So if you want to go back and understand what was the application procedure, you can still do it. And we look forward to engaging. I think this just has created a forum where people are able to connect with each other. So we look forward to engaging with you beyond today. So all the best and have a good day.
Thank you so much, David and Ali. So just in case you joined in late, the application form has actually all the information there that you need. So don't say you're waiting for the presentation to come through and you haven't received it. The application form does have everything in there. So let me quickly share again. It has the application link. Okay, great. It's showing. So you have the application link, so where to apply, you have the criteria, you also have the rewards, the term of conditions, about the challenge, the timetable, and also the judging criteria. So everything actually has been listed for you. And I know there's entrepreneurs asking about the awards. So everything also has been guided in the application form, just so that you can be able to also read through and apply. So for me, is just to say, put your best foot forward. Really spend time thinking through clearly and have a very clear focus on what you're applying for. I know entrepreneurs are very brilliant with many ideas and want to change the world in so many ways. But for this fund, I only want to encourage you to focus, pick one challenge, one solution that you want to address, and it has to be existing, and then how this fund will actually help accelerate that. If you know what entrepreneurship does for a community, it really does help one to alleviate poverty and social challenges, but at the same time also creating sustainable livelihoods for different people. So we really value entrepreneurs that we work with, and we're happy to also see there's demand from all of you, even for just joining the info session. I've seen many of you who have also joined. I think you've been part of all the information sessions. So we also applaud you for that, because there's something you always learn from every interaction. And just to say, I think, thank you as well to all our partners and conveners, especially the Unilever team. We have EY, UK Kenya Tech Hub, and also UK International Development that has really made this partnership possible, as well as also my colleagues from E4 Impact and also Countrywide Association Hubs. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. And we really wish you all the best, and apply before midnight kindly. And we'll talk to you next time. Thank you so much, everyone, and lovely day and weekend. Bye.